Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with another excellent video regarding green card interviews. 2-year green card interviews. Now, with the current administration, they are actually enforcing what they should have been doing years ago, green card interviews, okay? So if you want to apply for your adjustment of status, you fill out the forms correctly. Don't be surprised if you get a letter stating that you have an interview with a consular officer, an immigration officer, just like you did when you went through the K-1 visa. Don't panic, don't be scared, okay? It's just a part of the process. And people are asking me what questions could they ask me at a 2-year green card interview. Remember now, this is a family-based interview. So the husband and the wife and any children have to be at this appointment, okay? You're going to get general questions covering a slew of areas of your relationship, personal information, your travel history. Why did you get your green card, why did you get to the United States and then immediately apply for advanced parole because you want to go back to your country where you started? Why'd you do that? It's a good question, right? They're going to ask you about your employment, the husband and the wife, the beneficiary and the sponsor. They're going to ask you why you want a green card. Why do you want it? Well, I married my American citizen's husband or wife, and I want to live with him and build a life with him in the United States of America. And then they're going to go ahead and start going into depth regarding your relationship, your courtship, and your daily life. Okay? Don't panic. You can do this. Okay? So let's go on and go over some of the questions that they may ask you. Now remember, I'm not an immigration attorney, okay? I don't give you legal advice here, and I don't work for USCIS. But I got 11 plus years experience helping people process green cards and K-1 visas successfully, including my beautiful wife, Karina from Venezuela. And right now she's in the kitchen putting groceries away and doing stuff. Otherwise she would be joining us in this video. Come on, let's talk about some of the questions, okay? Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Basic questions. They're going to ask you, what is your full name? They're going to ask me, what's my full name? They're going to ask Karina, what's your full name? What is your date of birth? What address do you live at? So make sure your beneficiary knows, I don't care what country she's from, whether she speaks English or not. By the way, you can bring a translator to an immigration interview, as long as you fill out the paperwork, which I'll go over on another video. But make sure your beneficiary knows where she lives or where he lives. She needs to be out, or he needs to be able to recite verbatim his or her address in the United States of America. I'm serious. If you can't do that, that's a red flag right there. Make sure you know your phone number. Your beneficiary needs to know what her phone number is. You know, I got to know I don't even hardly use the cell phone, so I know what the phone number is. But the immigration officer could ask me, hey Diego, what's your cell phone number? You never know, right? Now they're going to ask you questions about your family members. They could ask me, hey Diego, does your wife from Venezuela, does she have any brothers and sisters? Well, yeah, she does. Well, do you know what their names are? Sure, these are their names. Do you know the names of Karina's mom? The name of her mom and dad? Yeah, I know Karina's mom and dad. I've never met them because they live in Venezuela, and I can't travel to Venezuela. You know, I can't go there right now. American citizens cannot go to Venezuela. It's the government-ran dictatorship, so we can't go there. But I know all about Karina's family, her mom, her dad, her brothers, her nieces, her nephews, and I even know my nieces and nephews' birthdays. So I never forget their birthdays. Okay. They could ask you about your travel history. Mr. Beneficiary, Mr. Sponsor, U.S. citizen sponsor. You got to the United States and you applied for advanced parole. Why? Why'd you do that? And don't be surprised if lots of advanced parole documents are getting denied now by immigration. Immigration want to see you come to America to get married, settle down, and assimilate and become an American. Basically, it's what they want. Okay? But they will ask you about your travel history. How many times have you left the United States since you arrived here? Okay? I mean, they're going to ask. They could ask you that question. And they're going to ask you what the dates were and what was the purpose of the trip. Well, I decided I wanted to get the advanced parole and I wanted to go back to the Philippines or Australia or Colombia and spend 2 months with my grandma. Or take whatever the case may be. Okay? Well, immigration's going to think, well, why in the heck are you living in the United States if you immediately want to go back to your home country where you started from? Good point, right? When you get to the United States of America, get your green card, and when you go to the K-1 visa interview, the green card interview, the U.S. citizenship interview, the best answer that immigration is really looking for is, what is your travel history? Well, I've never left the United States. I've been here for the last 3 years with my American citizen husband. You got it?
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Now, other questions they could ask you at the green card interview, whether it's a 2-year green card or maybe a 10-year green card, is, what is your education history, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary? What's your education history, American citizen sponsor? Well, my wife, Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, she's got a degree in tax accounting, okay? And I got a degree in business management. And so we're at the same level education-wise. And they may ask Karina, what do you plan on doing with your degree? Now you're in the United States of America. What are you going to do with your degree now you're here? What are you going to do with it? What are your plans? What do you want to be? Do you want to start a business? You got a good job? Your education and your employment history, because you can get a job once you get your work permit, okay, is important to the immigration officer. They want to know if you are going to be able to contribute something positive to the United States of America, okay? Got it?
Are you legal to be in this country? Si, senor. Okay, I have my green card.
Another question they could ask you at a 2-year green card interview is, when did you first enter the United States? What was your date of arrival? Have you ever violated any visa issuances in the past? So have you ever been overstayed a tourist visa? Have you ever violated, have you ever done something that, is this your second K-1 visa? Is this your first K-1 visa? They can ask you questions about your U.S. residency. What's your address where you live? Where's Walmart? What's the street is it on? Tell me about the town you live in. Tell me about the city you live in America. Okay? These are questions that you got to anticipate. You got to know everything about your house where you live. You got to know your address. You've got to know everything about your U.S. citizen sponsor, what his favorite foods are, what his favorite this is, and you got to know everything about everything. Okay? Immigration isn't just issuing green cards anymore. They are investigating thoroughly to see if you qualify and to see if you're wanting the green card for the reason that it was going to be issued to you for, which is to live, work, and become a part of the United States of America. You got it? They could ask you questions about the U.S. government and American culture. They may ask you, you're in America now, have you been anywhere while you've been in the United States? Well, I took Karina to Arizona. I took her to Nevada, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Alabama. She's been to about eight or 9 states already. Okay, we got no interest in getting on a plane and flying overseas internationally. We don't want to do that. I want to show Karina America. This is her country. This is her country. Okay, the United States of America is now her country, and so it is the sponsor's responsibility to help your beneficiary acclimatize and assimilate into the United States. Okay, they could ask you questions about, well, who's the president of the United States right now? Who's the vice president? Be ready for stuff like that, okay? They could ask you questions about your relationship history. Well, I met Karina online, and we talked online for 5 or 6 months. I think it was like 5.5 months. And then I flew down to Bogota, Colombia for a 2-week vacation to be with her, and ended up staying for 5 weeks or 6 weeks right in there. And that's how our relationship developed. First by talking online, and then by being together for the first time for 6 weeks. And then I came back to Colombia and stayed with her for 5 months. And then I came back to Colombia and stayed with her for 11 months. Okay? And then we knew we were right for each other. Well, we knew that from the very beginning. We just kind of connected. But immigration wants to get a history of your relationship status. Okay? Describe your relationship. They could ask you, describe your relationship. What is your daily life? What do you do each day? When you get up in the morning, what do you do? Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary. Well, I get up and get ready for work. Okay, you get ready to go to work. What side of the bed do you sleep on? Tell me what kind of windows you have in your bedroom. What's the color of the carpet in your house where you live or your apartment? What kind of car does your husband have or wife? Are you on the title of that car? Are you co-sharing that car? Are you equal ownership of that car? You're on the title to the car or the motorcycle? They'll ask you questions of, marriage details. When did you get married? What's the date? What's your marriage date? Where did you get married? You better know the day you got married. There was a lady from Australia, okay, who flew into the United States, into Hawaii, to meet up with her husband. Apparently they were going to go through a spousal visa. And the Border Patrol took her aside when she entered Hawaii, and they asked her questions. And they asked her, "When did you married to an American citizen?" "Yeah." "When did you get married?" She didn't even know when she did not even know the day of her wedding. So immigration said, the Border Patrol said, "You don't even know the day you got married? You were married to an American? How long were you dating him for?" "Well, I met him. We dated for a month, and I got married." She was removed from the United States and sent back to Australia. Okay? You only knew somebody for a month, you married them, and you don't remember the day you got married? She was sent back to Australia, and rightly so. They can ask you questions about your daily life, like I said. What is your routine? What do you do together? Well, Karina and I, we love going to the museums, we love going to the beach, we love traveling together around America. I took Karina to the Grand Canyon. We have the same interests. I mean, in history, in politics, we're all on the same sheet of music. And they can ask you financial information too at a green card interview. Did you file your taxes together jointly? Well, when you go for a 2-year green card interview, you may not be able to do that. But definitely when you go for your 10-year green card and for U.S. citizenship, you better be filing joint taxes together. Okay? They can ask, what are your income? How much money do you make? Diego, how do you make money? Karina, what job do you have? Do you like your job? Questions about your financial stability could come up in a 2-year and a 10-year green card interview. And also they could ask you employment-based application. If you were going for a work permit, okay, this isn't going to pertain to you, but they could ask you questions about your job. Where do you work? Who's your boss? Do you like what you do? What are your future plans? What are your career goals? What do you want to do with your life in America now you're here? Okay? You can become a millionaire if you want. Are you ready to put some sweat equity into your green card? Are you ready to work hard, obey the laws, follow the Constitution of the United States and our republic? You could become American. You could become a millionaire. Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger did when he came to the United States. He came to America on a work visa that was sponsored by Joe Weider, the owner of Muscle and Fitness magazine. He came to America on a work visa, and within 3 years, he was a multimillionaire. He started a construction company with Franco Colombo, another bodybuilder. So Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't become a millionaire from being a bodybuilder. He became a millionaire from sweat equity in a construction company. And then he went on to make movies, etc. So when you go to the interview, dress business casual. Don't wear jeans and a t-shirt and a bowl cap. Don't do that. Dress business casual. Prepare for the interview. Test each other. Make sure you know everything about each other. Bring all the supporting documents that they require you to bring to your green card interview. Your marriage certificate. Continuing evidence of your relationship. Electric bill, water bill, phone bill, etc., etc. Your passports. Your K1 visa, NOA2 letter, if you have it. the approval letter from your green card application letter, etc. Whatever they ask you to bring in the letter for the green card interview, bring it with you. Be honest with your answers. Don't be making up stories. Don't be making up stupid stories. If an immigration officer asks you a question like, Diego, what's the color of Karina's toothbrush? Well, I haven't got a freaking clue what the color of Karina's toothbrush is. So I say, I don't know. I say, and I'll respond also, I don't even know the color of my toothbrush. Ask me another question. Be authentic, okay? Be yourself and don't lie. Just go with the flow. Wear business casual clothes. Learn everything about your beneficiary. Learn everything about your sponsor and his family, her family, where you live, your house where you live, his likes, her likes, dislikes, favorite movies, favorite foods, etc., etc., etc. And you'll make it. You'll pass it. You may only get a few questions. They may only ask you 2 or 3 questions. You may have submitted such a strong 2-year green card package that maybe you don't even get an interview. But if you do, maybe you only get a few questions, you know. But don't panic. When you enter the building, go arm in arm, hand in hand. Okay? When you enter the building for your immigration 2-year green card interview, don't be walking him in front, you behind, or you in front, he behind, and the kids over here, whatever. Go in together holding hands. Okay? There's cameras everywhere on these buildings. They want to see how you're interacting with each other when you enter the building. And practice answering some questions. Watch this video if it helps you. I hope it does. You'll be successful. Okay? If you want to become a member of this channel, you can sign up as a member, and that way you get my phone number and my email address. You can call me, you can text me, and I will help you through this process one-on-one, personally, if you want to become a member. You got to sign up as a member though. I do a live stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Central Time with Karina, sometimes without Karina when she's busy. But Karina, for the most part, is included in the live streams. And we will see you at the next live stream. Thanks for watching.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. See you later. Bye.